Good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to this faculty development webinar series brought to you by FACE. We'll be starting the session shortly in about 2 minutes by sharp 3 o'clock. Just doing a quick check if you're able to hear me clearly. Doing a quick audio check. You can use the hand raise icon, which will be there on the tool that you're joining it from. You can also use the questions box to type in. All right. Thank you very much for the acknowledgement. We'll be starting in a minute. Right. So thanks for your patience. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome once again to this faculty development series. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Arvind, and I am the head of training and products at FACE. And I am very happy to bring you into this session, which is hosted by us. So today's session, I'm very excited to introduce the presenter and also set the agenda in terms of what exactly we'll be covering today. So naturally, given the challenging COVID-19 times, recruitments are naturally in a slowdown across campuses. But slowly, what's happening is IT product recruitments have started to pick up in campuses, and it looks like amongst the recruiters, it's going to be the IT product recruiters who are going to be starting to recruit at an early stage. Which is why we're conducting this session, and this session is specifically for faculty members, training and placement officers of colleges, of institutions. So the focus will be more in terms of how can faculty members and institutions help your students in terms of landing IT product company jobs. We understand that there are some students in the audience. So just wanted to kind of set the agenda that this will be focused towards institution stakeholders. But if you're interested as a student, you can still stick around. I'm sure that you'll find things useful in the session. Um, Now, without much further ado, I would like to introduce today's presenter. Today's speaker is Mr. Venkatesh, and Mr. Venkatesh is the Assistant Vice President for Technology Training Products at FACE. He's one of the champions in terms of technology training at FACE, and his experience also is extremely vast in terms of not just helping students in terms of cracking programming norms, teaching them technical, but also in terms of very vast experience in terms of content development, in terms of application development. Specifically as a programming trainer, as a technology trainer, he's also been very hands-on in terms of software development, where he's developed multiple projects, 50 plus projects, as both a software developer and as a technical trainer. So he is somebody who brings with him a lot of experience and understanding in terms of what not just training is required for to land a job in an IT product company, but also in terms of what skill sets are required to succeed in an IT product organization. Without much further ado, I would like to hand over the baton to Mr. Venkatesh, who will take you through today's session.
Sure. Sorry, people. Once again, I'll start it. I'm really happy to host this session. So good afternoon, everyone. So today, what we are going to see is like how to get into the product-based companies and how the expertise and support of both TPOs and faculties are required in the current scenario. Given that due to the COVID situation, everywhere people are reaching out for jobs and other things. Even in the current scenario, there are n number of jobs where people can get into, and the package structure is much more higher. So we are going to see how you will be able to, the TPOs and the faculty members, how you can guide your students in getting into the dream and super dream offers. So I'll share my screen. I guess my screen is visible to everyone. So the agenda for today would be expectation of IT product companies and the ground reality on where the students are, and how the TPOs and faculty members can support them in improving their problem solving skills, and what is the final roadmap for the students. So when it comes to the product-based companies, there are two things. One is the companies which are from 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. More in case of a service-oriented companies, the digital packages, and the companies predominantly between the 5 lakh to 10 lakhs packages, or more of a startup kind of a companies which offer a good package, and the expectation of these companies are more towards the on the job. When the students are getting into the companies, they should start working on day one. That is the expectation from these set of companies. And the big giants like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, which offer more than 10 lakhs package, they mainly concentrate towards the algorithmic thinking and data structures of the students. So that is these are the two segments which we are going to see. And what is the student expectation, how the students have prepared themselves, and what they are doing right now. That is the second thing which we are going to deal. And the third thing is like how what are the things in problem solving, how to take it forward, and how we as one team going to support them in uh, achieving the product based company rounds and clearing of those rounds, and finally the roadmap. So to start with, so when it comes to dream companies which offer 10 lakhs to 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs package, for example, Freshworks, in TCS Digital, Hack with Infi, which offers 8 lakhs, all these Conduent, JustPay, QMath, all these companies, their expectation lies within data structures, basic algorithms, and uh, the full stack, any one of the full stack thing, MERN stack, mean stack, Java full stack. It is because these companies being a startup, they do not intend to invest on the training part. Rather, they require people who are highly scalable and highly skilled, and can be trainable to work from day one. So this is the expectation of the IT dream and dream companies, which offer a package of 5 to 10 lakhs. So, and basic problem solving skills. Given a problem, people expect how design thinking is happening out. Design thinking is like developing an application, how to develop the user interface, how to develop the backend. All these comes under the design thinking of an application. So people quite expect people who are really adapt to all these technologies in case of a dream company. But when it comes to the super dream companies like Google, Microsoft, Flipkart, Ola, Paytm, who are paying more than 10 lakhs, going up to 35 to 40 lakhs, these are the companies which really concentrate on the advanced algorithm and data structures. Why these companies look forward for such a kind of thing is like, when I go on developing an application, I need to understand what kind of for example, I need to use a searching and sorting. If you see out all the Flipkarts, Flipkart, Amazon e-commerce site, whenever you go inside the application, you have filters and you have search buttons. And in order to search the product from a list of lakhs of products, I need to write an efficient sorting algorithm, or I need to write an efficient searching algorithm. So that is where these companies predominantly look for people who are really able to understand a proper data structure to retrieve the particular element. So all these companies require a very strong algorithmic thinking to how to reduce. Imagine a student who does not know an algorithm, who does not know any algorithm. Can he write a proper application? So there lies the skill set of a student. So that is where these company pay a high package to take people who are really good in these kind of skill sets, predominantly into algorithmic thinking and data structures. So whenever you write an efficient or efficient algorithm, given the even the current scenario, all kinds of video streaming apps are coming up. So people need to compress the video in order to stream from one end to other end in a high speed network, and without any delay or lag inside the application or inside the video stream which is out, which is sending out. So that is where the concept of algorithm plays a vital role. How efficient is able to grasp the algorithmic concept and apply in different kind of products. Video streaming is one kind of product, audio streaming is one kind of product, live streaming is one kind of product. So these kind of all the realistic softwares which are very efficient and uh, highly scalable nature are product which has a good algorithmic architecture as well as data structures implemented within it. So that is where the package scales up to the next level. But when it comes to the ground reality, even if you see here, what are the company's expectation and what they expect is the companies, what do IT products recruiters test is fun. They test, even if it is one language, he should be a master of that particular language. Starting from everywhere, he should know what are the inbuilt functions, how the object oriented application works, and all the data structures, and the most key algorithms are the 5 algorithms which is given here. It is backtracking, a dynamic programming, greedy algorithm, branching and bounding, bitwise. And when it comes to basic data structures, stack, queue, and linked list, which we commonly use everywhere, and advanced data structures like tries, trees, graphs, segment trees, and branch trees. So whenever the company interviews go beyond a 10 lakhs package, then normally these are the areas the students might get a question for their the interview process, both in the face-to-face round as well as in the first round, the coding round too. So these companies, they don't concentrate on the aptitude part, they mainly focus on the algorithmic thinking and the data structures part. When it comes to the ground reality with the students, we see to that in the first 4 years of curriculum, he's involved in first year, he's actually involved in fundamentals of programming, which he learns in C or Python. And while it comes to the second year, he naturally goes with the object oriented programming. Either it might start from C++ or Java. And again, we introduce him with data structures and algorithms. And the next and when he comes to the 6th sem, 7th sem, naturally he forgets all the basic concepts which is related to programming, and the fundamental concepts are completely erased, and he again starts from a naive point of learning the programming, again learning the foundations of programming in any other language. And again he starts data structures and algorithms. This is the exact ground reality which is happening out nowadays. Instead of going with the multiple language part, if he is actually mastering over one language, and the importance of data structures and algorithms should be carried forward on each and every year. I completely understand that given the hectic syllabus and the curriculum which he is involved into, these are times where he has to scale on his own, where he has a number of platforms to grow on his grow himself. The main purpose here is like how we as a teacher community are going to motivate and guide him on what are the things he should start doing it from the first year. So again, when he's into multiple languages, he's actually going through a lot of stuff, but he does not know the depth of whatever is happening out. And data structures and algorithms, the importance of, he never understands the importance of algorithm until he comes to the placement scenario. And the realistic real world practical applications where data structures and algorithms work together. He has never come across such kind of things. He uses Amazon, the student uses Flipkart, but naturally he does not understand that there are search and filter operations, and within a search and filter operation, a particular data structure is applied as well as an algorithm is applied. This connection mismatch is actually happening out everywhere, and when he comes to the final year, he forgets the inbuilt practical applications. Rather than he thinks only algorithm as separate and the application is separate. All the applications are a part of algorithm as well as the data structures. So this practical scenario is completely misunderstood by the student part. So this is where he actually loses his thought process towards getting into the product based companies. So in order to push him to the product based companies, what we need to do is like what generally I recommend is like every when the students get into the first year, initially he should be start preparing on one is like the mathematical part where aptitude plays a vital role. He should have a knowledge on aptitude thinking, which in future will help him guide in problem solving questions. So and one particular language, any if it is C language or if it is Python. Nowadays what I recommend is like C is actually predominantly used for hardware interfacing. When it comes to an coding challenges or high level of programming grounds, it is better he goes with any of the high other languages, C++, Java, Python. So if he is actually achieving mastery over these set of languages, and if he continues to keep on working on these languages till fourth year, then it is very likely that he will be getting into the product based companies. And the importance of algorithms on every year, there should be a scenario or there should be some practice areas where he should be applying both data structures and algorithms on a continuous scale. It is like now after third semester until he reaches sixth semester, he will not be involved in algorithms or data structures at any point in time. So naturally he actually forget the core of the entire computer science part, where data structures, algorithms, operating system, networking plays a very important role, and object oriented programming. So these five forms the core of the product sector. So but he does not have a in-depth knowledge on all these concepts. He and the practical application of all these differs in a wider scale. So this is with respect to the ground reality. Now let us see how to scale him up. So as I was saying that on the first year, if he's starting with the aptitude part as well as a basic programming language, the next year from the second year onwards, he can actually start working on he can he can work on HackerRank, HackerEarth. All these platforms can be introduced from the start of the second year, where he can create a account and he can start practicing on basic problem solving skills. So which is very important when it comes to complex problem solving skills in a realistic scenario. Once he's used to once he starts solving all these problems, day by day his actually IQ level also increases, his problem solving ability and to interpret the question given increases day by day when he is exposed to different kind of problems. Given the university curriculum, he might be involved only with in first year he might be involved with 20 to 25 set of questions, 25 programming questions, which will be no way equivalent to what it will not be equal. It will not be equal to get into a product-based company. The amount of knowledge which that 25 questions is not, it will not give him the enough confidence or enough skills required for algorithmic thinking or problem-solving thinking. That is where having an account on any one of the coding platforms, for example, HackerRank, CodeChef, LeetCode, and the exposure to competitive coding challenges. The first thing is the fear of the fear factor between the students, uh, and they think that programming is really tough. And another aspect of a student life is like he never loves max at any point. So but these are the very important skills that a student should have to get into these set of companies. And there are quite a lot of companies even in the current situation or the current scenario. All the product companies keep on hiring on their own, and there are a number of job opportunities uh, in the future as well as in the current scenario in the product based companies. So what the student should do is like from start from the right from they enter into the college till they enter into the product round, they should actually have a go on all these aspects on a sem wise basis, and they should do it outside their college timing. That responsibility and that a particular guidance has to be given by us to their end. So making them to enroll in any one of the coding platforms, continuously practicing 2 questions or one question in a day helps them out on a day by day basis to build their problem solving ability. So if this happens on a constant basis, then when it comes to the third year or the fifth semester and sixth semester, they can slowly get involved in solving high level company based questions which have been asked in previous coding challenges. So whenever they get exposed to all these previous year coding challenges, it is high likely that they will be able to solve in the upcoming challenges too. Because if you take algorithms, the algorithms completely concentrate on the first 5 basic algorithms, and most questions are predominantly asked from the same 5 algorithms, but the description and the question, the way of question being asked is little bit different. So this is how I recommend we all to push the students on taking up the challenges. And the curiosity to learn in depth. We actually, when we were learning, we actually used to ask the five questions. That is, what it is, why it is, how it is, when it is, and where it can be applied. So if, for example, if I'm learning a C language, why I should learn a C language, what is the purpose of C language, when and where I can apply C language, and how it can be applied, the syntax part. So everything the students are generally they don't tend to explore, or they don't tend to go on a research thing. Nowadays we can get all the answers in a tip of a fraction of a second. The amount he invests on social entertainment platform is much less than what he is investing on himself. So if he tries to involve in that curiosity should be pushed from our end. That is actually a tedious task, because the entire scenario of the student's mindset is completely changed from what we were up and what we learned in the earlier days. So this is one thing which he should do it of. Though whenever he is doing something, if he's actually learning an algorithm, for example, a sorting algorithm. So what is a sorting algorithm? Why is a sorting algorithm? When and where I can apply a sorting algorithm? And how to apply a sorting algorithm? These 5 important questions he should have answers for all for everything, whatever he is learning in his life. Even it is operating system. And for example, everywhere whenever he learns something, he should have this answer for these 5 questions. This is how I recommend to my students. Whenever they learn something, they should have answers for these questions. If they have these answers, then they have a complete understanding of the topic, whatever they learn. So one is, and the thing is like, one, I can explore to the depth, I can perform a research, I can Google out and I can find the answers. Then whatever I learn, I do it, I find out a mistake and I correct on top of it. So the students, they if they do a mistake, they don't want to rectify it, they naturally want to proceed further, and they want someone to rectify the mistakes for their part. But they should learn all these things from their own. And for initially, when they start problem solving techniques, they will be going with the naive approach, that is brute force method. For example, to solve a question, they tend to use for loops or while loops, and they try to solve it off. And they should, on moving forward, they should try to apply whatever algorithms they have learned to the given problem. Is there a better approach? That better approach and the time and space complexity sort of thing should be always there in my mind. Is my code efficient? How can I refactor my code? All these aspect has to be brought right from the start. Best practices to be followed in writing a code. For example, commenting a proper line, keeping proper names, and how to write a modular coding. This also helps him from in case of a competitive coding challenge, these kind of modular programming helps him to make his code unique rather than plagiarized. So this plagiarism is also one factor which they tend to consider when it comes to a competitive coding round. And people can when they do write all the code by function, they will not, their code will be much more unique, and they will be we can say that the student has the ability to understand what is modular programming and the right approach for a right problem. For example, there are n number of ways the problems can be solved. What is the optimal way to solve a particular problem? So those kind of things can be achieved only if he explores the realistic competitive coding challenges. For example, even in TechGeek, there was a challenge in last month, and he actually posted in I think everyone know the platform called as TechGeek. So where they host competition for Microsoft, they host competition for Google, and they give cash prizes, as well as they give out job offers for the students. The cash prizes offer from 50,000 to 3 lakh rupees or to 2.5 lakhs. It is completely the platform is wonderful, and students has to go and involve in those set of platforms, and they can see what are the questions that the companies are expecting, and in what complexity they are expecting, and what only if he goes and tries out, he will understand what to learn and how to learn. Unless when the student comes to first year, until the seventh semester or sixth semester, until the TPOs and faculties guide them or say to them that there is a platform called as HackerRank, they never go and register themselves. So that is how our students are. We actually should guide them from the start, else they actually they don't tend to do all these things, and once the semester or the placement part is over, they finally blame us that none of our teachers or none of the faculty members helped us out. That is what they do. They don't know how much effort scale to these levels. And when it comes to right problem solving techniques, even before completely understanding the question, they tend to solve it off. They actually need to understand, sit and go through the question completely to solve it, and what is the right logic or right algorithm to apply to get it solved. So practice, lots of practice. Imagine a student who has an account starting from second year in HackerRank, and every day he achieves one problem, or in a week he tries to complete 3 problems. Imagine the amount of questions he might have solved throughout a year and for the continuous 3 years. How much amount of effort, and that is where he can also show his profile, how much rank he is in HackerRank and how much questions he has solved. And slowly, when there is an interest created inside the mindset of students, then they start sticking to the things which they actually love. So once they are into this coding practice, and coding is mandatory irrespective of any streams. Even I am actually from a mechanical background, so irrespective of any streams, coding is very mandatory in the current scenario. Even when it comes to automated cars, for example, even if it is an Benz, the complete Benz automation system, car automation system, is being written in Java, and in case of BMW, Audi, it is actually completely written in Python. So even those people who are outside the CSC IT streams, they should understand the importance of how coding plays in their particular streams. And finally, the part where the students should do is debugging the complete code. One thing is like solving the solution, other thing is like already there is a given solution, or how much he's capable of debugging his entire code. So debugging is very important factor to understand the depth of a language, or to understand the internal working of an algorithm or a piece of code. So even if the students are from second year or third year, at least they can have n number of contest questions which is available over the internet. They can actually go and try out these kind of questions. For example, what are the questions which have been asked in Hack with Infi, Cape Gemini's the Tech Challenge, hack the interview, Code Vita sort of questions. So if they explore all these these questions will be limited, and when they come to final year, they'll be completely prepared, and they will have a very strong approach in solving these competitions and approaching these competitions. So until they try out all these challenges, they will not have a clue on what is going to happen, or what kind of questions these companies might ask, and how in a real time how the competitive coding rounds might be, in what aspects he can clear a test cases. And we normally write a program which normally in his college life, when taking his lab scenario, he might have 1 or 2 test cases passed. Only if he enters into a competitive coding round, and if he solves problems in the platforms like CodeChef, HackerRank, he will understand the size of the inputs. There are some cases where there are size of the input is much more large. There are scenarios where there are 125 test cases, 100 test cases, and 500 test cases, 900 test cases. So only if he enters into these kind of coding challenges, he might know what is the importance of even declaring a proper variable, and the size limitations he will understand. Else he will never get the knowledge of all these things. And when he enters as a naive student, without any as an amateur, without any knowledge on how this competitive coding rounds work, he will be very much he will not be in a position to take up the challenge, and he will not be able to solve it. Next, we'll actually see what is the importance of problem solving. First is like as I already said, the max part is very important. If he knows if he has solved a lot of aptitude set of questions, these questions, for example, for permutation and combination problem, we actually use dynamic approach. And there are ways in which we can actually use an aptitude mathematical logic to find out the permutation and combination factors. The NCR formula can be applied, and we can take a solution immediately. But those kind of things the students tends to avoid. If it is a max, he definitely avoids and run away. And people who are new to coding, what they should do is, first thing is like, everyone gets a fear of programming thing. They normally don't tend to understand that coding is very easy, and if they are good in one language, they can adapt over multiple languages. So completely who's new into the coding part, what they can do is like, first thing what they should do is they should overcome the fear factor, And if they learn one programming language, they should stick to it properly, and they should have a complete understanding of the entire languages, the predefined functions which are within it, and how it works. So that is mastery over the fundamentals of programming in any language. It can be C++, even it can be C. But when it comes to the competitive coding, it takes time for people to pass the test cases if they use C language. But if they go with C++, Java, or Python, they tend to solve it much more faster, as well as the amount of inbuilt functions which C and Java and Python offers is vast compared to what C offers. And mastery over data structures, and they should keep on solving challenges in various platforms, and they should go with previous challenges from all these coding routes which we saw earlier. So one is like students coming into the college, you are going to guide them. The other set of students who are already into the curriculum and how they can do it. So what you know who are the students who are really good in coding, and how you can guide them is like you can ask them to explore different kinds of problems in LeetCode, CodeChef, and all these coding challenges. And mastery over fundamentals of programming is a must. Advanced data structures and advanced algorithms. Uh, so people who are starting, they can go with basic algorithms, and people who are already good, they can actually start working on advanced GS and advanced algorithms. For example, for a palindrome string, uh, I can solve it using a native method, brute force approach, where I can use a for loop, and also I can use it solving dynamic programming. But there is another algorithm called as Mannekes algorithm. It is a string algorithm. So this is longest palindrome of a string. So three ways we can solve it, out of which the most efficient solution can be achieved using Mannekes algorithm. But people, if they don't know Mannekes algorithm, they will not use Mannekes algorithm at all. So that is where the mastery over the specific algorithm is very important. If they need to still push their package more than 10 lakhs, more than 20 lakhs, they should have a complete understanding of algorithms and data structures. And I know everything, but the major problem here is like how to relate it with each other. I have learned a lot of things, and there are n number of problems on the other side. How to relate a particular algorithm and how to relate a particular data structure to the to the problem. This is very important. This is the place where students naturally they struggle a lot. They learn a lot of things, and they finally forget where to apply the right algorithm. So this can be solved only if he practices continuously, and if he and over the period of time, he will have the mastery over applying the right algorithm and right DS for the particular problem. Again, he should try n number of challenges from the old year, and what are the product based questions that have been asked in the previous year. uh, so these are some of the important factors which we should consider. So this is already I told. So what are the roadmap to students? So develop fluency is one of the language in any one of the language. So we can recommend them. See, if students are finding it highly difficult, we can recommend them to go with Python. If not, we can ask them to go with C++ or Java, because most of the companies they give a n number of language specific options, and predominantly we will have support for C++, Java, and Python. So students, if they really need to understand the object oriented programming, then they can go with Java. That is where we actually always we try to use with the object oriented approach. And if the students are really worried about choosing a language, then if he finds it difficult, then we can suggest him to go with Python part. And this is one aspect in understanding the starting with the right language and starting from the scratch. So next is like when it comes to the data structures, he should be aware that whatever data structures he is actually using out. The thing is, he will be learning linked list in a theoretical way, but whatever emphasis we have to push him is like we have to push him in implementing all these algorithms. The basic common thing is list, stack, queue, trees, and graphs. Initially, if he's starting from second year, he should have a concrete understanding on both the theoretical aspect as well as the practical approach. Practically, he should be able to solve all these algorithms. Only then he will be moving to the next level. And how the time complexity and space complexity plays a vital role in the real-time applications. Even in Facebook, we are using data structures and algorithms. In Flipkart, we are using data structures and algorithms. We are in Amazon, we are using data structures and algorithms. So he should be we should push him to explore all these real-time applications and the architecture and the data structures that is being used inside these applications. Once he uh, that is learn whenever he learns a concept, if he is trying to map that concept with a real-time application, then he will be naturally understanding why he has learned data structures and why he has learned an algorithm. And if he does that, he will have a concrete understanding of the algorithms and data structures. And whenever he writes an application or whenever he writes a code, he will be using proper data structures and algorithms. If he does if he has a practical knowledge on how the algorithm works. Even now, many of the students, they learn stack in the second year. They do not know all Gmail applications, Facebook, Post, WhatsApp, Messenger, all these uses stack as the predominant data structure, main data structure. So last in first out, in the sense the most recent message will be at the top of our view, top of stack. So even this fundamental concept they are not able to relate. They see data structure as one thing, and they see the Gmail application as other thing. When it comes to an Redbus or ticket booking application, it is actually queue. He does not know that a queue is actually used inside a Redbus or make my trip to book their tickets. So this is how this is the difference in which he is actually working out. He's taking the theory part separately and the practical implementation of all these algorithms separately. And next is focus on one thing that matters the most is like uh, focusing on problem solving methodologies, and he should expose himself to different kinds of problem solving aspect, and he should be solving it. When he registers himself in HackerRank, starting right away from the start, he will have a number of challenges which are very easy in nature. And slowly, when he starts building on top of it, he will be naturally exposed to different kinds of problem, different kinds of scenario, and he will also understand how algorithm plays a vital role in solving this problem. So initially, from the start of his career, if we push him to all these sort of if we focus on all these aspects, then completely when he comes to the seventh semester, he'll be into the product part. He will never have a thought process on entering into a service-based company itself. We always push the students to achieve their dreams. We should focus now on making them to dream on cracking the product round. So there are a number of service companies, but we still have a huge amount of product companies. Even if they take people in by 2 or 3 people, the number of product companies that are out there is much more, and the job requirement is really high. And the last one which we should think is the algorithmic thinking ability. He would be learning throughout the entire curriculum. He actually learns a lot of algorithms. He in case of networks, he learns a lot of cryptographic algorithms, but he that is the one part. Again, he knows algorithms, but again he knows in a theoretical way, and he never ever thinks that those are the algorithms which are being applied in the real world entities. That connection gap we should explore, we should make him to explore, and we should make him to find out. So if these are the things which if this is done, I hope all the students out there, most of the students out there who are really interested into the IT product can really make it inside the companies. These are the some of the important things which we should actually help them to sort it out, because right from us entering into the college and right till he gets his final certificate, we are the people who actually meet him every day. And the importance of both faculties as well as TPOs, mainly TPOs don't involve themselves from the start. uh, they are the people who come at the last, and they actually tend to push these people, and they know what is actually required in the company and what is happening in the company. So I guess if you people together be in his career right from the start, and if you encourage the students to do all these activities, I never wanted to stop the curriculum, or I never wanted to involve all these activities inside the curriculum. I need us to push him to do all these activity slowly on a continuous basis until he comes to the final semester. If he does that, then most of our headache will be gone. He will be really ready for the product based companies no matter what. And these are some of the important things which he should have a concrete understanding. The core of computer science, that is algorithm, data, FOP, the fundamentals of programming part, data structures, algorithms, uh, object oriented programming. Another one is networks and operating system. These six forms the core of any computer science thing. If he is really good in all these things, and if he understands how these concepts are applied in real world entities, then he is completely eligible into the product based companies. So the next part where the students can go and practice is like Lead Code, Code Chef, Geeks for Geeks, Hacker Rank, Hacker Earth, and Code Walks. One part is like people, they even doesn't know that in case of Hacker Rank, Hacker Earth, there are competitive coding challenges that are being conducted by the companies directly. There are, for example, data science company called as Graminer, one of the best data science companies in India. They hire through Hacker Earth. They don't normally go to colleges and they hire. So Graminer actually they are into data science and data visualization, and their major focus is on people who are able to solve Hacker Earth challenges. That's all. So once that once the coding challenge is done, they call to the particular candidate, and they conduct the hiring process. So students, they normally tend to put more pressure on the faculties as well as colleges and the TPOs to bring in companies, rather than try to explore all these options where he can get a package of more than 10 lakhs to 20-25 lakhs. Even sometimes people does not know that Google Code Jam is there, Google Kickstarter is there, especially for Asia Pacific. And if they if they participate in these rounds, or if they clear these rounds, they have a higher chance of uh, if they clear Google Code Jam, or if they even come within the rank of 100, they the other companies actually take these parameters as a selection criteria for the companies which offer package of more than 10 to 15 lakhs. Now imagine people who's actually student who's participating in Google Code Jam, and he comes inside a rank of 100. So even that is actually a quite a big achievement. So these are some of the platforms where they can go and test themselves, and we can ask them to push their limits so that they can get placed. So these are some of the things which I wanted to highlight on today's session. So if we are together, we can really push the people to get into the product based companies. So with this, actually, I'll pass the session to Arvind. If you have any queries, we can actually go on with the questions part.
Thank you, Venkatesh sir. It's been very insightful. And folks, you please feel free and ask any questions that you might have. anything that you would want to know in terms of helping your students land IT product jobs, any follow-up questions on what we have delivered, you can feel free and ask it. There's a question from Harish Venkatesh. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, sure, Arvind.
Arvind, you might have to read out the question.
Yeah.
So Harish's question is, how can we prepare for product company in the placement time for non-CS students who are not really familiar with data structures?
For any companies, if they are dedicating the student, the students are dedicating 1 month of their complete time, and they are completely involved in solving problems, and if someone is pushing them to understand the data structures and algorithm part, then definitely within one short span of 1 month to 2 months is more than enough for these people to get into the product companies. But a definite training should be required, and the training should be happen from a continuous span of from morning till evening. He has to be dedicatedly solve problems from various areas, and he should be involved in multiple data structures and algorithm set of questions.
Harish, I hope that answered your question. While you folks can chip in more questions, in the meantime, in case you folks need more advice, if you need more support in terms of helping your students land IT product jobs, you can also email us at these contact email IDs. Any support that you need in terms of a preparation plan, in terms of a program structure that you want to devise in your college, coding environment that you want to kind of devise so that students start coding at a really early stage and start becoming IT product company aspirants, you can reach out to any of us. Flashing both of our email IDs. I hope you can see it on screen. So you can take a note of this. You can take a screenshot of these IDs while we'll take more questions. Akshay, your question is on, I have 56% in my 12th. Am I eligible? Venkatesh, sir, do you want to take it, please?
He's actually in 12th standard. He has got only 56%, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. When he's capable of clearing any one of the product-based companies, then I guess it is not going to affect him much. If he shows a skill to the particular company by solving the coding challenge, then the company normally don't stick on with this percentage, is what I feel. And it has happened in multiple cases. If he's capable of proving himself, then the company doesn't see his grade or his degree.
A couple of questions from Mr. Bhaskaran. I'll maybe take them together. First is, how do we motivate non-CS students to learn data structures and algorithms, given that it's not their main domain of expertise? And this question also is on, what platform would you suggest for beginners in terms of learning coding?
The same thing. I like, in case if it is a language, I recommend for a non-CS perspective, actually Python plays a vital role. That is where I told, right? Audi and BMW, they use Python to control the entire automation system within it. So that is where we can actually push them, and they should also understand that irrespective of any streams, that now language plays a vital role. Even the companies are preferring people who have a knowledge on the programming part rather than who's actually sticking on with the core subjects.
All right, so the next question is on how important is knowledge of mobile app development, Android, iOS, to get placed in product companies? It'll be great if Venkatesh sir can weigh in on this.
So definitely, I already told you that there are companies which look for people who are good in the application development, as well as if they're really good in application development, and if they are really good in data structures and algorithms. See, the way they develop an application is very important. have they used the right data structure and have they used the right algorithm in developing a particular application. And if they have done it, and definitely they can showcase their application, and they can easily get into the company. And as of now, everywhere we are going with mobile applications more than desktop systems. We actually use a mobile a lot more than we use our laptops and desktops. So people who have a knowledge on Android development or mobile app development, they have a higher choice of getting placed too.
All right. So while we have more questions, we also wanted to give you folks an announcement that we're starting a free 6-day how to crack ID product company recruitment webinar series. So naturally, in several colleges, IT product companies are going to kickstart their recruitment. Some of the top colleges are starting to have dates given by companies. Naturally, there are competitions and contests out there through which IT product recruitments are naturally happening, like some of which we spoke about in today's session. So there was a free webinar series which we're conducting for the students. It starts tomorrow and it goes on till 8th of July. It's 6 days, 3 days this week, tomorrow till Saturday, and then next week, Monday to Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m. every day, where every day there's a company in focus. So if your students, any of them are product company aspirants, then these are sessions that they should naturally attend. This will kind of give them a very comprehensive perspective in terms of what exactly these companies look for, their test patterns, test taking strategies, the important skills and areas tested. Students will be able to watch these webinars. They'll be able to register for this for free from the link that you see on screen, which is faceprep.in/webinars. We'll also be sending you info about this over an email after the session is over. But if your students are preparing for IT product recruitments, then this is something that will be really useful for them. It starts tomorrow, every day, 6 to 7 p.m. Please ensure that this info is passed to your students and that they make the most of it. All right, there's another question from Harish in terms of specifically to learn data structures within a month. Are there any specific resources which will kind of provide the shortest path to success?
Specific resource in the sense, there are actually within FacePrep YouTube as well as FacePrep site, you can find a number of problems where we are exposing them to different kinds of data structures and algorithms, videos on data structures and algorithms. That is one part where you can go and explore. And people naturally they go and explore on Geeks for Geeks. So if you need to go on with video tutorials and for any product specific questions, you can access FacePrep YouTube channels where you will find videos for most of the algorithms. There has been already a session on this by our founder Venkat on how to solve the product based questions. That is one series, one good series for people who does not have any knowledge on the data structures and algorithms. And there are a number of other set of videos where YouTube videos by FacePrep where you can see questions on basic problem solving sets. So these are some of the resources, and you have some links in HackerRank where you can go and check out the things, but the explanation might vary. But in case of YouTube scenarios by FacePrep, you will have clear-cut explanations of all the questions and answers.
All right, any more questions? Please feel free and type in your questions and we'll be able to take them. Kirtana, your question is on for non-CS students, do they have to focus on subjects apart from data structures and algorithms? Data structures and algorithms, like Venkatesh has spoken about in the session, happen to be the key areas of focus when it comes to what product companies test. Apart from this, naturally, networking is also important. Operating system is also important for specific companies. But the main area of focus naturally happens to be DS and Algo. I hope Venkatesh sir will concur with that.
Yes, yes.
I hope this answers your question, Kirtana. All right, folks. Thank you very much for spending your valuable time in terms of attending the session. I hope you found the session useful. In case you have any follow-up questions that you'd want to ask, any support that you would need for your institution in terms of helping your students prepare for IT product recruitment, just flashing our email IDs again, you can reach out to any of us. You have both Venkatesh's and my email ID. You can reach out to us and we'll be able to ably support you in terms of preparing any plan or ensuring that the students do an IT product company recruitment, and also generally setting up an environment of programming, teaching and training in your institutions, which today happens to be the order of the day in terms of ensuring students become extremely proficient in building programming skills in this post-corona digital world. There is naturally a webinar series that we're starting for students, which starts tomorrow. So please share this info with students, and they can visit facebook.in/webinars. They'll be able to go register for each of these company sessions. They'll be very comprehensive, and they'll really understand how to prepare for each of these companies, their expectations, and the areas and topics tested. Thank you very much for your valuable time today. We'll catch up with you soon in the next edition of the Faculty Development Series. So from all of us at FACE, thank you very much. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot.